Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? This particular presentation would be concentrated on a very important pathway which has gathered a lot of interest in the recent past. So if you guys have seen or are interested in Alberta PNP, you must have seen that dedicated healthcare pathway is something which has been gaining a lot of tractions in the last few months, and what I feel is that it will continue to do so in the days and months to come. So let's see what are the options available for you as a candidate if you are looking for dedicated healthcare pathway as one of your avenues. Okay, so this particular presentation will give us or will show us the different options that you have for the dedicated healthcare pathway. I'm not going into the eligibility requirements of each of the pathways, but kind of giving you an overview so that you can judge for yourself which of the dedicated healthcare pathways is suitable for you. Now, Alberta operates dedicated healthcare pathway under two different streams. One is the express entry stream and another is the non-express entry stream. But if you are interested in dedicated healthcare pathway, the first thing that you need to do is to check whether you qualify for dedicated healthcare pathway under an express entry stream. So what is an express entry? Express entry is nothing but the Ircc's express entry pool, where you need to create a profile. There you need to get at least a score of 300 and qualify for either the CAC, FSW or FSWP programs of Ircc. Once you qualify, once you meet these minimum criterias and other express entry criterias like for job offer, for language and everything, there are two or few other Alberta PNP specific requirements, like for example job offer and the job offer from an employer who belongs to a particular industry. Those kind of requirements has to be met for your express entry profile. So once you qualify for the express entry profile, you can create express entry profile, and then if Alberta finds your profile to be as per their economic requirements, they would give you a invitation to apply. So just at a very high level, these are the basic eligibility requirements within the express entry stream for the dedicated healthcare pathway. So you should have a verifiable and bona fide job offer. You should have the minimum, you should show that the employer is part of the healthcare profession. You have an express entry profile with at least score of 300. Your primary NOC is for the eligible dedicated healthcare pathway NOCs, and then you qualify for the one of the express entry or the federal streams of immigration. Okay, so these are some of the high level eligibility requirements for express entry based dedicated healthcare pathway. Now this is the first check that you need to do. Only if you are not able to satisfy the express entry stream criteria, then the non-express entry criteria is available to you. What is non-express entry criteria? In non-express entry criteria, obviously the express entry based criteria gets left behind, so no longer you need an express entry profile or a minimum score for 300 or any kind of federal immigration program. However, there are some additional requirements like requirements for work permit, requirements for a job offer, obviously the regulatory organization and the minimum language score. So these are some additional requirements which you need to satisfy if you don't qualify for express entry and want to qualify for non-express entry stream. So again, a very high level snapshot of the eligibility requirements here. If you go through the eligibility requirements, you will find that the non-express entry seems to be geared towards those people who are already working in Alberta, because it needs for you to have a valid work permit. So who are already working would be eligible for the non-express entry. Okay, in addition to that, there are some other requirements which you can see on the left of the screen. I can make a detailed video just on the requirements or the individual requirements of dedicated healthcare pathway, but in this particular video I am just showing you the different options that you have available. Okay, so here is the overall summary of what you can expect under dedicated healthcare pathway. There are two distinct streams under which the pathway is operated. One is express entry, one is non-express entry, and each have their own set of criteria. Okay, now let's look into the flow of steps or the end-to-end flow in case of express entry stream. So if you want to focus on the express entry stream, a typical flow of steps would look like you will start off with an expression of interest, which is mandatory for all Alberta PNP streams. Once you create an expression of interest, you enter a pool of candidates, and then Alberta will issue you a ITA or invitation to apply if it finds your profile to be as per their economic requirements. So once you get an invitation to apply from Alberta, you would create an Alberta PNP application. Once that application is processed, you will be given a nomination for the Alberta PNP. You will have to accept that nomination, and then you will get the extra 600 points in your express entry profile. Once that is done, Ircc would issue you an invitation to apply for PR. Now that invitation to apply is done based on the draws done by Alberta draws done by federal government periodically, right? It happens every couple of weeks, and in that particular draw, if you qualify as per the draw criteria, then you would receive something called the invitation to apply, and then you would create your PR application from your express entry profile. If you follow this particular pathway, after you do your PR application, the processing time is on an average 6 months. So if you see here, this is the express entry process for all provincial nominees, and that is where we get this number of 6 months. So if you see, it will cost you around 15.25 for one person, and processing time can take up to 6 months. But the important part here is that under express entry, you will have to wait for two invitations to apply, one from Alberta and another from the federal government or Ircc. Okay, so I hope this is clear on the flow of steps for the express entry stream of dedicated healthcare pathway. Now let's look into the non-express entry part of the dedicated healthcare pathway. Here also the flow of steps is pretty much same, with the only exception of Ircc's invitation to apply doesn't work here. So you would again start off with your expression of interest. You will, if Alberta finds your profile to be acceptable, it will send you a invitation to apply. You will apply for a PNP with Alberta. Once you get the nomination and accept that nomination, you would go and directly apply for PR. You don't have to wait for Ircc to send you an invitation to apply. However, in this particular pathway, the processing time is more than double, around close to 13 months of processing time. Okay, so here also if you would see, the fees is pretty much same. It's still 15.25. However, the processing time is a bit longer. In fact, a lot longer, almost more than double. Okay, so this is what I wanted to cover in this particular presentation for you guys. Just wanted to give you or lay out to you different options available under the dedicated healthcare pathway. As again, dedicated healthcare pathway is expected to pick up steam and continue to be relevant in coming days and months. So I hope if you guys are by any chance targeting the dedicated healthcare pathway, this particular presentation may help you in clearing your doubts and laying out all the options available to you very clearly. If you need any kind of dedicated videos on any of the different topics, leave a comment and I will try and make that video. And until the next time, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Stop.